All right, so good evening, everyone. Good evening across the globe, from wherever you're watching from. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Yeah, from the topic you are seeing here, yesterday we were supposed to continue on our marriage policy principles and strategy in marriage. First and foremost, I want to appreciate so many of you who learned from this topic and also share and called behind for one advice or the other. And may God bless you. And I believe by God's grace, this is going to add positively to our lives, to our relationship, to our marriage. And that is my prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. This evening, we'll be discussing on a policy. We have been on principle, which we have touched in some few areas. And today we'll be discussing on policy, which is the law of your marriage. First and foremost, before you get married as a woman, you must attain age 18, and a man must be at least 21 and above. So your marriage is not expected to be between teenagers below 18 and below 21. Man must be 21 and the young lady or the lady must be 18. So apparently, if you settled in marriage, definitely you are not a kid. And the brains that you developed to think, to cohabit, to discuss, and to hold a relationship, you have reached that age where you think like a matured person per se. So this evening, uh, first of all, the first policy of the marriage is a legal ability to marry each other. The both parties, both the guy and the woman, must have legal ability to marry each other. Then the second one is mutual consent of the parties. Both of you must have consent of each other to settle the marriage. And that is where the proposing aspect of it, asking your hand in marriage. Give me 1 second, please. Mariama Mana, how are you? Just one moment. Just one moment. Just one moment. Somebody needed the fast information. So let me quickly drop it for them. Okay, sorry for the interruption. Secondly, mutual consent of the two parties, meaning both of you must have consent of each other to settle the marriage. And that is where proposing of the lady and acceptance, the proposing of the lady and the acceptance to the guys comes in. So you cannot just walk into someone. That is even the reason why early girls' marriage is totally out of it. it's not, you don't support it, you don't encourage it, come what may, no matter what. You don't encourage your underage child below 18 to go into marriage or any relationship that have to do with sex or that may lead to marriage, because their sense of belonging is still underdeveloped. Then asking the girl hand in marriage, the girl should be matured enough, at least from age 18, to know what relationship, love and not affection is all about. And that is where asking or demanding or proposing a lady for a marriage comes in. That is the both consent. The marriage contract as requested by law. The contract as requested by law depends on the country, depends on the kind of marriage you are into. If it is traditional marriage, it has to be between the both families, what the tradition of the other person's demand, mostly the lady that you are asking her hand in marriage. Then if it is a legal, neither court marriage, then you have to do that based on what the law requested, based on the country as well. Okay, in often time, we ladies will take our policy, the policy we take into marriage affect our marriages. I'm not specifying it to us as ladies, but generally both between man and woman as well. One, as a single lady, before you settled in marriage, one, you must have um sorry, you must have your reason while you want to go into marriage. One. Then secondly, before you go into marriage, you must have prepared your mind. This is how I want my marriage to be. Settling down in marriage, if I'm to be married to my tribal person or married to an Igbo person or Yoruba or however you planned it. Getting into the marriage, this is how I want my child, this is how I want to train my child, because all those things that have to do with planning. And getting into the marriage before you marry the man, there is always no policy before you go in. Few men have actually sit down or called on a woman to address this issue. This is my policy, this is my marriage policy. As you are coming in, be rest assured or have it at the back of your mind that these are my policy laid down. One, you must not come in after 7 o'clock. Two, you must not be a working class person. You must be a full-time housewife. Three, you must not put on skates or you put on trouser. Four, you must not cook draw soup or a egusi or anything of that. What are the policies? My children must not be found playing around any other child within the neighborhood or in the next compound. You must clean, and this is how it is. You lay down your policy. But do you know, several occasions, nobody have ever discussed this policy will bring it to marriage. And you, as a lady that you are going into the marriage, you have never for once sit this man down and discuss your policy, your law, that this is how I want to run my marriage. I'm coming into your house, I'm accepting your proposal. Your family members must not come into the house, and this is this and this is that. This is my traditional food. I must cook it or you must not eat it. All these policies will bring in, you cannot cook, you cannot wash dishes, you cannot do this, you have to wear trouser, you will not wear trouser, and will bring in this policy that is at the end, it choked your partner. Marriage is deeper than what every one of us is discussing about on social media, off social media. Marriage is deeper than I and you. Marriage is deeper than what we are into. Marriage is beyond what we think we can discuss and maybe elaborate or define. It goes beyond the definition of what marriage is all about in every language, including English. But in most times, I've come to see where people bring policy into marriage and you choke your spouse. And marriage, even though we know that, is a journey that you expect. Yes, at times the phones come in, at times the problem come in, misunderstanding come in, and all that and all that. But have you realized that your partner will spend much time with you on this earth than he or she must have spent with his or her parents before both of you settle the marriage? Did you realize that? Did you think of that? That a life that someone is going to spend in the whole of his or her life, a relationship that someone is going to be in the whole of his or her life until he or she, dies at old age. You are expecting the person to live with anger, with problem, with annoyance, with hypertension, with unforgiveness, with unsettled spirits. Are you expecting any man or woman to be in a relationship which is more or less like you are living all your life there? If a lady is to be married at age 18 and a guy is to be married at 20, then minus 18 from 100, 120, 90. So if she has spent 18 years with her parents and she spent 70-something years or more, or even 100 or 80 with you, do you think such person deserved your problem, deserved your headache? I believe the policy we put in relationship, in marriage, affects most of us. And the reason, the purpose why some of us, some women walk out of marriage, some men walk out of marriage, because the pressure, the tension the policy will bring in into the marriage is just too choking for anybody to bear. Life is to be spent, well spent, and spent with fun, with happiness, with enjoyment, because you don't even know life after this. Nobody, no matter the level of anybody's preaching, no matter the closeness of any spiritualist to God, you can never say this is the life after this life. You've not tested there. And those that have died have tested there. They have not come to the world to tell you this is how the life is. Nobody knows God. Our ways are quite different from the ways of God. So if you are putting a policy in your marriage, you are bringing law, order, and this is how they should be. Please, can you just consider that what you are laying down, that this part of us is yours, who is going to live with that thing until he or she dies at old age? So if you put a policy that is not flexible, do you think the marriage will be enjoyable? The relationship will be of fun? The relationship will be of happiness? The relationship will be something that someone will just wish, yeah, I'm happy I have to be here. I think even when God said, a man will leave his father, his mother, all his family siblings, and be married, and him and the wife become one flesh. If God have said that you are going to depart and you are going to be where you and someone will become one flesh, and you have to dwell there, the woman have to dwell with you until your old age. Let's drop some of our policy. Some of you men, your policy in marriage is just too strong that women, that your wife will always feel that she's being choked. She need a breathing space. She need breath. She need fresh air, and which is not right. I can't imagine that you walk into the house, everything you come across irritates you in your own house. You go to the living room, you will complain. Sitting room, you will complain. To the kitchen, you will complain. To the restroom, you complain. You cannot just take your eyes off from anything. You have to complain. Everything have to be intact, left and right. Life isn't like that. If we are being choked like that by God, I don't think anybody will want to even live. So let's put our spouse into consideration. There is no law that says it's a woman that your wife that must bathe your children. Not bathing the children, and if you come back from work, what stop you? At least she did not bathe the children. Can you please, sir, also assist in bathing your children, even if you return late? Don't you think the policy, can you be flexible so that the marriage can be enjoyable? Can you be at least drop some policy, some laws that you have to stick, and that is how it should be? Can you just drop it a little? Make the house flexible. Let your lifestyle be flexible. Some of you, your wife cannot play with you and touch you with her foot. It's forbidden. God forbid. It's an abomination. This, that. Just a joke. It can't touch you with foot. Go away. If they ask you, go away. It become another abomination. No free gist, no free play. You don't play with your wife hardly play with you, because your policy, your law is just too strong that the woman cannot be free to play with you, associate with you. And it's the same house you are expecting the person to stay 1 month, 2 months, 3 years, 4 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. When you think ahead of where you are going, you will still have to rethink. Is this journey going to be smooth? Even no journey has ever been smooth. If you travel by air, when there is turbulence, your heart will escape. If you travel by road, when there is traffic, hold up, gallop, and all that, your heart will still fly. Even in the Western world where the tide road, if you overspeed, it's still not also good. You are being checkmated, you are being monitored, you are being controlled by the government. So is there any journey that is smooth? The answer is no. But can you, for once, as a man of the house who know that you are, can you for once reduce your policy, your law of marriage in your house, so that your marriage would also work with flexibility? Allow the woman to gist with you. Allow her to air her mind. Allow her to associate with you, at least discuss the activities of the day, what she has passed through, what she has seen, because we men, we have the nature of talking. We need attention of somebody that we can rely on. So if a woman leave her family and cannot discuss with her mom, her father, her siblings, you are the father, you become the mother. You become all her siblings. How comes that she cannot be free to discuss with you? You can't back your wife. Backing your wife is a crime, is a taboo. Everything is a taboo. Everything is forbidden. What have you not forbid? You forbid petting. You forbid touching. You forbid playing. Then some women, we are too psychedelic that everything, we are so petty that you see everything, whatever your husband does, it does irritates you. Once the person you are married to is not of even the up to someone that you have dated before, then your mindset is always where who you have dated, whom you have seen, whom you have associated with. You never take your mind off from who you have dated before, instead of concentrating on whom God have given to you. Polish the person, stay with the person, arrange the person, so as the person will look of your choice. We are so petty that in so many areas we bring our own law policy from our single lifestyle to the marriage, that we cannot even surrender, we cannot be submissive, because that is how we want it. You have it at the back of your mind that you should be the one that your children will listen to, because you listen to your mom and that is how you grew up. And for that reason, if you have little misunderstanding with your husband, the next thing you do is to instigate the children against their father. It's your own policy. That is the law where you guide and demarcate and barricade the kids from their father. If you come into the house, probably where you come from your family background, if you shop, you go to the market, your mom goes to the market to shop every Saturday or monthly, you bring your policy to your husband house. That is it. That is how my mom has been doing it. My daddy give my mom's money every weekend, and that is how we go to the market to shop every weekend. You have to shop to the house. And once it's not your way, that law, that your policy, if it's not in that way, it does nothing work anymore. Madam, can you be flexible? Can you calm down and drop some of your policy in your marriage and let things work? If you are out there and your kind of dressing, your kind of hair, your kind of perf you use while you were still single, and eventually you settle the marriage, and your husband, your spouse could not afford it, can you calm down and drop the policy of the standard you want to live, the class of the lady you were living before, and mend your way? Can you drop that policy that you must wear designer? Your hair have to be there, even when the resources is not there. For the fact that you know you have friends and you want to please them, you want to live to the standard on which you were living before you settled the marriage. For that, once you cannot get to that standard, there will be no peace. Have you realized that where you are, you are to spend the rest of your life there, and there is hope for the living. So if you live the life you are to live 10 years to come, you want to live everything now. How possible? Is that flexible? Will it work out? Too much policy, too much principle. You have made up your mind, you have also calculated, you have also envisaged, and you have known the kind of school you want to enroll your children to, even before you are married. You admire your friend that's been married and the kids are schooling there. So you have it at the back of your mind that your kids will school there. What if the resources is not there? Can you drop the dream and let the children start from somewhere? Can you drop that policy that the children must be enrolled into private school? That very policy, because that is your law, that is your policy. You just want to stand it. That is the policy, and that is how it should be. Can you be flexible in that aspect so that things can work well? Some of you, you choose to wear what is it called, uniform with your husband or with your wife, because you have seen other friends of yours, you are into it, and hence your family, it cannot happen, or you can't find it between yourself and your husband or your wife. It becomes a problem. You started comparing yourself with other people outside. I met this person in the church last week. You have to see the way both of them have one uniform to the church. Are they you? The issue is that oftentimes we forget that what people portray outside is quite different from what we have inside. A man tell a story. He said a man and his wife went for a holiday, and uh, there they went to zoo, and they met two lions, and the two lions were just sitting down separately. The female lion was by the other side, and the male lion was the other side, and we're just looking at both of them were just there. After which they step again to another place where they find is it monkey, or which either monkey or something like that. Is it monkey? I can remember, either monkey or one other animal again, and they were both there playing, playing and all that. Now the wife now said, okay, can you imagine, look at the way this monkey two monkey the both monkeys are just playing. Can you imagine the way, and these two animals were even playing love and all that? But look at lion is just there, no joke, no play, nothing and all that. Then come to think of it, the husband had told the wife that, okay, try to touch the female tried to touch the female monkey, and the wife tried to touch the female monkey. The next thing, the male monkey jump up to the next tree. Then it's okay. Let's go to the lion. Try to play or joke or try to touch the female lion. And as soon as she tried to touch the female lion, the male lion jumped at the woman to protect the female lion. What is the meaning of the story? One, you met these two people, these two husband and wife lion. They were not talking, they were not playing here and there, they were just there, and you have interpreted that there was no love between the two animals, no love between the two husbands. But this very one that you feel playing, kissing, jumping here and there at each other, when disaster come, tragedy, when problem comes, what happened? This one that you find that they were playing love and all that, run away. The ones that you feel that they are not even playing, they are not even in love, the man saved. And that is how relationship is. Social media these days have made people to live all manners of fake lives. If you begin to compare your life, your relationship, your marriage to public relationship, to social media relationship, you're just fooling yourself. Because average people live fake lives on social media. Average men and women, in fact, at anything that you find on social media, people playing this and that, try to portray love. There's no true love. Because if there is true love, you don't need to show anybody on social media that you love this person. It's between both of you. It's both of you that can define the love you have for each other, not social media. Nobody on social media or out there should interpret the love. Most often time we see people hugging each other, playing and all that, displaying love on social media or to the public is fake. Often that they have problems from home. At times, some pastors and their wife will have problems, heavy and serious problem from home. Even beat up the wife, and they'll go, both of them will go to the church. Sorry, excuse me. When you find them in the church, what the pastor do? Praise! If you really know, if you find a stubborn wife, at times if you check it, the pastor wife don't even, you see from her face, she might not be raising hand and doing the display, but from her behavior, pastor wife today is sitting coded, like something is fishing. But when they notice that church members are noticing them, they begin to display. So after they have problem, they come to the public and begin to display love and peace and joy as if they have never been problem. No, don't let nobody fool you. You have to see, some will go as far as sponsoring man in all standard, but they will portray to you that is the man that is spending on them. You will think he's the man that is spending on them, or is their husband that is overspending on them. But at the end, you will end up your own marriage. You will destroy your own marriage based on social media show. It's a show. Because those that genuinely love themselves, you will see the way they behave. Even if they come on social media once in a while, you will just see the real love in them. Not every day want to show off here and there or show as if there is love. So let's be wise. Let's be wise. Let's be wise. Our policy in marriage is just too much that if we don't consider, we should not think of where we are going and how long we are going to stay in the marriage, you make mistake. And once you walk out of the marriage, or the man walk out of the marriage, either of the party walk out of the marriage, at the end you will still regret, because there's no perfect person anywhere. You may think this lady is the worst person or the guy is the worst person. Nobody is worse aside somebody that intend to kill you or taking your life. or do some heavy atrocity, right? So the policy we practice in our marriage, I advise we drop some and let's be flexible so that our spouse can enjoy us, can feel us, can feel our absence, our presence anytime we're around. We are too rigid. Can be too rigid that there is no, you stay with your spouse, there will be no discussion. If it is not business, then there is no other fun discussion anymore. Can't you gossip? Can't both of you gossip person? Can't both of you as husband and wife say that gossip somebody? You can't trust you. Once they even gossip your sister with you, any little misunderstanding, you have to call your sister and tell your husband, this is what your sister said about you. This is what your brother said about you. You can't be trusted. If both of you discuss your uncle, once there is misunderstanding, your uncle must hear that your wife talk about you or the husband talk about him. Let's step down on our policy. Today is the beginning, the preamble of the policy. Tomorrow we'll talk about the policy. Next tomorrow we'll close the policy. Then we'll go into strategy. The strategy is what we need to discuss very well because it's what most of us need to go into, and it's what keeps some of us in the marriage. Your strategy might not be mine because we differ and our spouse differ. What my spouse want might not be what your spouse wants. What I want is what you will not want, right? Let me check what Ross and Jonathan say. I think the basic problem associated with marriage starts from the family background. When parents fail in giving the children uh, a godly lifestyle, they seek advice from the society. Good. Rosen, you are very right. But let me just bring I like the comment you drop here, and I'm encouraged. I feel happy when I see this kind of comment because I'm not just talking to myself, I'm talking to ourselves, and I believe we should interact. It's an interaction, the interactive section or page that you can drop your comment, your experience, and we all rub mind together. And thank you, please. And another thing, as you watch, I beg you, please share it also so that others can also have idea when we are coming up tomorrow too. Yes, it's very, very essential. It's very, very necessary. Parent is good for parents. Upbringing matters a lot. That I agreed with you 100%. Upbringing of kids, of children matters a lot. But do you know children of nowadays? Because I still believe there are some things I was taught by my mom that I grew up. I did not take to that step. I did not take such steps. I decided to take my own step that I feel, oh, I think if I take this step, it will be better for me. Right? Do you know our parents, we are taught by our parents as ladies how to be domesticated. No African countries, no African lady, I don't think, I have not seen, except your family, your mom as a person just choose to live that kind of a life, which you know that no matter what, no matter how rich you are and all that, what gives any man joy, what makes any man feel at home, what makes any man feel as if he's married and all that, is to see you, that beautiful lady, being go to kitchen and you prepare, even if it's indomie, go there and boil. Let there be that signature of a wife being at home, right? The man have been living his life eating, no matter how rich you are. Ask those that are rich, and there is no how people they don't eat in their house. If it is not necessary, if the man is so rich that he wants to be eating outside, eating in the eateries, eating in the big restaurants, eating in Chinese restaurants and all that, if he's that rich and he don't want any food tasted, he don't want to taste any food in his house, have not seen such man. Even in the presidency, they still have cook. And I believe Aisha Buhari, no matter how busy she is, she will still touch kitchen to go and cook what the husband wants to eat. Right? So Our parents were always taught as a lady how to be domesticated, how to wash clothes, how to wash your this, how many times you should bathe, how to cook foods, your kind of dialect, your traditional foods and all that and all that. But if you are while we are growing up, you did not just stick to your traditional food. The reason why it should be that you should also at times have other orientation and also add value, learn more other things to yourself is you might in the present life, people often don't get married to their even tribal person. Gone are the days that you have to be married to your tribal person, not even your state. They can't even, they don't stop at the state. You have to be married to your village, even almost close to your kindred. Our, our parents and our elderly ones, I think that is how they compare them to be married. You can't even go, you will not allow them to, I mean, you will not be allowed to marry to the next village or whatever. They just want you to be married to that village. So but these days, if you're then if you are married to a non-tribe, it's more or less like a taboo, or they have sold the girl out, and everybody, or maybe probably the community or any other person or the family members will go against the parents of the child until civilization begin to come in, unfold. People get married to white, intermarriage, Yoruba to Igbo, Igbo to Benue, Benue to Hausa, Hausa, different. And people started, so if it's only your traditional soup you know how best to cook, at least. Sorry, let me answer my husband. Hello, love. Hmm? Bye with me. I'm fine, thank you. And you? Yes, I tried to check on you. How you doing? You say what? Not yet. Yeah, serious. How you doing? Yes, I did. That is good. Yeah. Okay. I'm online. I'm teaching. Yeah. Mm. No, you did not disturb. I just say, excuse, let me talk to you. Then I'll go back. No, I did not pause it. It's live. All right. Take care. Thank you. Sorry about that, my beautiful and handsome people online. Okay, so if you are just taught, if it's only your mom soup on how to cook your dialect food or your traditional soup that you know how best, I believe, I don't think who you are married to would, is like a training. You are introducing your traditional soup or food to the person. One, since I got married, I tried to, anything that I don't push further much to cook is what my husband don't like to cook. It's like it's not good in, he doesn't forbid draw soup, but he don't like it. I could do believe I love draw soup, but I don't think, since I've been married, I've not cooked soup, draw soup up to once or twice. Because of what? We always eat together. Then just imagine you are eating this, you are eating, and because of that, it's like the 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 appetite of eating the draw soup just die somehow out of me. Except probably maybe I'm in my family house, or I visit my siblings, or I visit home, then I can just eat. But this draw soup is what you grew up with, and all that. But I try to cook his traditional soup. I have to learn how to cook some of their traditional soup, so that if I cook what I know, which is not forbidden to you, we'll be able to eat, because we are going to live long. This is a relationship that you will live long. So our parents were not, I was not taught how to cook any other soup, like probably oha soup, bitter leaf soup, white soup, and some of all those things and all that. Uh, all those soup that one learn to cook. I was not taught how to cook it because it's not, they are not my traditional soup. but I know how to cook my own traditional soup. So why am I saying this? Our parents do tell, I mean, we are being taught or trained by our parents to do some certain things. But as we grow up, we begin to bring in other things, learn other skills and all that to bring up ourselves and all that. But the same way we learn other good things, that is the same way people digress again and go astray when it comes to other bad attitude as well. Some guys may grow up in a family where they have not even seen their mom being beaten or being molested by their dad. But they grew up associating with some friends, going out, hanging out with some friends. Eventually, they begin to hang out with some bad friends, and because they maybe have this kind of friend that have this temper, no regarding female, maybe in the course of having the guy as his friend, having experience or witnessing how the guy molest his girlfriend and all that and everything, there's a good whatever corrupt good bad whatever corrupt good manners or something like that. So the more you associate with bad person, you don't detest, you don't de-associate, you keep moving on. Anything that did not um irritates you, that you find comfort in, you find it comfortable around you. Anybody that you find comfortable around, probably the person is a jovial person, the person is always jovial, you like the person because the person is jovial. What about the person's other attitude? Do you study? Is this something that you love? Do you know the bad attitude of someone that will influence you, that will change your own good character? Because of the jovial character of that person, you are to avoid the person. Hence, you advise your friend that the person is not changing from any bad behavior that can influence you negatively, and you did not de-associate. You can still be influenced, and you find yourself finding yourself doing one thing or the other just like that. So, my dear sister, the same way you said, yeah, it's good parents put more effort to train their children. But when they become adult, where you cannot keep them anymore, where you cannot be them, you can only advise them. Whatever life they choose to live, the best you can do is to advise them. You cannot kill them. The highest you can do is to disown them. You cannot kill them. So that is it. So please, I appreciate uh, all of you that are here. God bless you. You're back. I don't know that you even went away. I appreciate you guys. Tomorrow we'll talk more of this. So, and we will not be talking much more than 30 minutes to 45 minutes. We should be able to round up, discuss little, and if you have any opinion to drop, any ideas, any experience, you can drop in so that others can learn from you. And don't forget that in most often that we discuss here and we'll drop some comment or make some statement here, it might not necessary, I might not be, I'm not referring to myself or to you. It's a general topic that anybody can drop comments, and it could be your friend experience, it could be your cousin's experience, it could be anybody, it could even be an experience that you get from another social media page that you want us to discuss here. So please, uh, let's meet tomorrow and we'll discuss further. God bless you. Let me check if there's any other comment again. Mariamana, did you enter kitchen? Can you imagine? Only you. God bless you always. Amen. I'm fine, thank you. Okay. Let me pin this comment. This comment of Rosen Jonathan is important also. All right. See you tomorrow. God bless you. I know you are always cooking. Good cook, please. Cook food and send to me this new year. Neemos. Thank you. All right, please do good to share, okay? Love you. Enjoy your evening and night. And